2026 and the link is feeling cold. Last year is done, new story getting told. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. They say he's uncoachable, can't get right. AJ in New England, now that deal is done. Lemons got the green light, pick that number one. Benny in the coordinator, put your fears to rest. Patello playing checkers, why this dude is playing chess. AJ finally traded and the hype train's broke. Rabel's back to coaching and Ruzini's catching smoke. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Ain't no time for fakers cause your boy is bleeding green. Sources leaking stories but you know it's all cap. Coach Marcus on the mic and he's shooting all facts. Search trending topics, information moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. With the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw.
Man, can you believe it? We are at the end of training camp. What's going on? This is Coach Marcus, Pro Fan Talk. We are here. How's everybody doing? Did anybody go down to practice yesterday? If you in the chat, you went down to practice, let me know how it was. I was watching everything on Twitter and how everything was going down. A lot of good things, saw some bad things. People trying to crash out over Jalen Hurts throwing interceptions and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, you want the boy to throw across the middle? He's going to throw across the middle. But with that comes the possibility of more turnovers. That is the reality and the risk of throwing it across the middle. You find me a quarterback in the league who throws it across the middle, who doesn't. So that is a reality that we may have to deal with. But is the good going to outweigh the bad? Those are the questions that we're going to have in Sean Mayne's new offense. I think the play action is going to work, but all of that remains to be seen. However, we are at the end of another preseason. We are at the end of the 2026 preseason, man, and we was just talking about when AJ didn't give a good performance in the playoffs, man. Like, it is amazing how fast that is gone. It is amazing. King DV, we gotta connect, bro. What's going on? What's good with you? What's good with you? But it has been crazy, man. It is amazing how fast the time goes, and things capture your interest, and things keep moving, man. We done had the Phillies went high, low, fired the manager, got a new manager. Now we back on the high again. We still 4 for 4. The Phillies are up. The Flyers are up. The Sixers are up. We got LeBron, y'all. Since camp has started and ended, we got LeBron James in Philadelphia. How fast has this thing gone? That's the only thing that was missing last night. Me and Tone talked about that. I said the only thing that didn't happen was LeBron showed up at practice. That place would have flipped. That'd have been phenomenal. So, yeah, we 4 for 4 right now, man, and it feels good for everybody to be up. Everybody to be up. And let me be honest with you. Heck, since I had so much fun watching World Cup, I'm gonna be checking out the Philadelphia Union games. I'm gonna try to keep track of that. So I'm like, man. But it is, I guess, going forward. Let's get this out the way. Going forward, for the next, I want to say 3 or 4 years, it's most likely going to happen. We are going to hear about Jalen Hurts is going to be the most polarizing story in sports. It's amazing. I tap in every now and then. Obviously, I don't give it the same attention as I do to my Philadelphia Eagles, but I tap into what's going on up in Cleveland. I'm an Ohio boy. I'm going to keep track of what's going on in Ohio, and I keep, I'm tapping in on what's going on with Shador. And I found it eerily similar to the stuff that goes on in Cleveland with Shador, compared to what's been happening with Jalen Hurts. And to me, it just shows me that regardless of how good you are, somebody was always going to find something wrong with you. If they don't like you, they will move heaven and earth to find a way to bring you down, to fit their narrative that you can't play. And I find that very interesting. It's not apples to apples. It's a little bit apples to oranges, but the concepts, in my opinion, are still the same. You got somebody, in my opinion, who's clearly the best way forward for a franchise, and you cutting his knees off every chance you get. You are never in a million years. Cleveland is willingly walking into getting booed at home all year. Because regardless of what Deshaun Watson does, there is still a huge contingency of people that will never like him going forward because of what happened with the allegations and the masseuses and all of that kind of stuff. But let's keep it a buck. If they're going to keep that same energy, then most of them people should never like the 49ers or hell, the Patriots for that matter. What that dude for the 49ers did, Kraft got them beat. Kraft got Deshaun Watson and that dude from the 49ers beat. But they won't say nothing about that, though. They swept that under the rug with the quickness, didn't they? So, regardless of how good you do, somebody going to find something bad to say. I hear the noise about Jalen Hurts threw some interceptions. He threw a lot more interceptions in camp this year than he has in the past. Good. Get it out the way. That's what happens when you throw the ball as much as he does. That's what happens when you don't try to protect the ball the way you should. So you know what? It is what it is. You got to take the good with the bad. If we so gung-ho about Jalen Hurts stepping it up another level and throwing the ball the way he's supposed to be throwing it, then guess what? There is going to be more turnovers. That don't mean he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. You got to take the good with the bad. So we'll see, because at the end of the day, as long as we win, it's all good. It's all good, right? Tiff, I don't necessarily know that it's negative at this point. It's too soon. It's way too soon. Because, again, keep that same energy. How many times have we seen somebody just go off in camp? Come regular season, you don't hear a peep. Oh, that man got 9 sacks in camp. Come to regular season, when you're going up against other all-pros and all that kind of stuff, a whole different ball game. So you got to look at it from both ends. If it's on one side, then it's got to be on the other. If you got people that can play like Tarzan, lift like Tarzan, play like Jane, that happens everywhere. There's how many times have we had teams that went 4-0 in the preseason, and then the next year they got the number 1 draft pick because they at the bottom of the pile? You can't look too much into that. You can't look too much into that. I guarantee you, if you survey all the teams and analyze everything that you saw in camp from all 32 teams in the NFL, you're going to come away with some of these quarterbacks look great during camp. But as soon as regular season, see me at about week 5, and we'll revisit this conversation. So, I see you, AY. I feel what you did. I see what you did there. 18 for 29, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Look like Josh Allen numbers, crickets. Yeah. And here's the question: when they counting all of them interceptions and stuff like that, are you counting the interceptions that happened in 7-on-7? Because I don't. I'm looking specifically at what goes on 11-on-11 team drill, live contact. Miss me with all that other stuff. You have to take into consideration. Um, I think the passing game is going to be better because we're going to be running a lot and throwing a lot off of play action. And the play action is going to work better because our offensive line is better. And man, let me say this again. Me, as a former running back, when I see them zone read runs, I am licking my chops. I am loving what I see. A lot of room back there. Keep them running backs in ace formation. Jalen, get your ass under the center. Put that ball out in the air so the linebackers can see it and flow the wrong way and eat their ass up. I already see it coming. You have to move the linebackers when Jalen puts that hand out. They gotta go. Go back and pick any game. Go on NFL Network and pick any game you want to watch and look at all of the play action that's been going on in the preseason from 2s and 3s and free agents and all that kind of stuff. It still works the same. That is an instinctual thing that happens. That is an instinctual event. See ball, get ball. And I don't care if you Jeremiah Trotter Jr. or if you Fred Warner. Your instincts are going to tell you when that ball goes out, running back's getting the ball, I need to cut off his path. And a good play action makes linebackers over pursue, and it just sets them up where you can run right past them. And then when you run right past them, you got to have a second and third option off of that. That's the way it works. But it all starts with the play action going, and I think Saquon is going to kill him. And not to mention, it's looking like we got a damn murderer's row in the backfield. Saquon, Tank Bigsby, Will Shipley, Steele. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Are they going to keep him so he can play special teams? Are they going to put him on the practice squad? Are they going to try to trade him? Because if they ended up cutting him, that joke ain't clearing waivers. No way he's clearing waivers. So it's nice to have those type of problems. I don't know if they're going to try to get another receiver in there. Are they going to get rid of Elijah Moore, maybe Hollywood Brown? I don't know. I just saw a story where trying to bring in Mac Hollins is a possibility. Trying to bring him back. Mac Hollins is not the same type of player he was when he left. He has gotten a lot better. He want to walk around with no shoes on before the game? Have at it. Long as you can catch the ball, bro. I wouldn't mind having him here. 6'4". Y'all must have forgot that size. He wasn't ready when he was here. Now he is. He went out to, I believe he went out to Seattle, and he was, I think he was in Buffalo. Now he was with the Patriots. He didn't got his feet wet. And he's a lot better receiver now than he was back then. I would put a beat in on that if I was Howie, if that's what you want to do. If that's the direction it looks like it's going. We looking at people that's going to come in and make an immediate impact. I can see that. Yeah, he definitely a little weirder. Definitely a little weirder, AJ, for sure. But can we really say that? And after everything we just went through with AJ? Can we, if any team is built to handle the weird, we are. So I'm like, bring it on. We like the Pistons, man. We like the Pistons when we had to handle Dennis Rodman before and after he went nuts. If any team can deal with that nonsense, it's us. For sure. All the drama we get coming through Philly, they need to change I-95 to Drama 95. Maybe that should be the new sports radio call station. WDMA, Philadelphia Drama. If somebody takes that idea, you're welcome. Dallas Goedert getting hurt. Yeah. I did see somebody. The the possibility exists of maybe they putting Fred Johnson on the blocks to bring in another tight end, bring in one of them big tight ends. I didn't realize that the LA Rams got 5 tight ends on the roster. They ain't keeping all of them. Let's get somebody else in here that can block. We got again. This is Howie Roseman putting us in the best positions to be successful. If we see some things where we might need to address some inadequacies or replace some players, we got the players to do it. And I'm saying that you can't just say, hey, we should trade this guy. A trade only works if the other team wants your player. And we got players like that. We do have players like that. So I would see somebody pulling the bead on Fred Johnson. I'm okay with Markel Bell being the backup for Lane. I'm good with that. Bring it. Young fella got some potential. Put it to the test. Let's go. Let's go. I'm all for it. Y'all know me. I'm like, hey, put my hands up. I'm backing up. Howie Roseman, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. This is why you get paid the big bucks. Do what you do best. And everybody else, shut up and get out of the way. So I think we're in a good spot, man. I think the whole concept of Jalen Hurts getting comfortable in the offense, I think that's overblown. Because the one thing that we're not doing yet, and we'll start it after this week, the one thing that changes all of that is when you're getting ready for a team. And you can scout them up. Now, it's going to start a little bit difficult because we don't have tape on anybody. So the only that first game against Washington, we got to look back on what happened last year. Do they have new players? Do they have new personnel? Do they have new coaches? Do they have new assistant coaches? All of that. Are they bringing new schemes to the table? You got to take all of that into consideration. So it only goes so far. If everything remains the same, then you got a pretty good bead on what they did last year, what they're going to do this year. You know, they strengths and weaknesses, and you design a game plan to take advantage of that. So when you devise a game plan, what that means is that playbook shrinks. If you got 1,000 plays, that playbook shrinks to maybe 100. Down in distance, all of that type of stuff comes into play. But my point is that there's a lot less to think about because now during the week, you focusing in on a particular team with a particular personnel base and what works best. Now you got history. Now you can go back and look at, well, what worked best against Washington? Is that coach still there calling that defense? Did they bring in somebody new? Okay, let's look. Where did they come from? What are they used to doing? They doing the same thing with us. They're going to look at them Green Bay tapes. They're going to look at them San Francisco tapes with Shanahan and cherry pick the similarities. Okay, we think that Sean Mannion is going to do this type of stuff. That's the game. That's the chess match. And I think we match up well this year. I think Sean Mannion is up to the task. You think Stowers is going to make the roster? He's not going to be practice squad? Well, he can be practice squads because he drafted. So at the very least, he'll be special teams. But I think he's going to end up playing. Acho going to drop a video talking about Jalen the most hated, but a minute ago it was one. Oh, my gosh, man. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, we got to start listening to Acho and his Wile E. Coyote. I call Acho Wile E. Coyote because he likes to overtalk. You ever had one of them people that overtalk? And it's not that they don't know what they're talking about. It's that they want to talk to you like you don't, and they be fast talking and regurgitate so much information. It's like, bro, slow down. Take a breath. What did Hal Jordan say in Lanterns last night or on Sunday night? Unclench. Yeah, Jalen keep the lights on for sure. For sure. That's good. Absolutely, Joss. Absolutely. Um, I here's the thing. In my opinion, it's what's most comfortable. Somebody like Sean Mannion, I wouldn't mind seeing him on the field because there has to be some communication between him and Jalen. And sometimes you want to be face to face for that. However, if where he works best is in the booth, put his ass in the booth. We can get somebody else down there that can talk. We got a quarterback's coach. We got, you know what I mean? So we got somebody that when Jalen takes off his helmet and comes to the sideline, who is he conversing with other than Sirianni? We can solve that problem, but they still getting they messages from, they still communicating, and you know how it works. You know how it works. So I don't care. I don't care. I've seen both. I've experienced both. So it doesn't matter. As long as they get the job done, as long as they call the right plays, as long as they um hey, get everybody prepared, because you can't. It's not up for a coach to execute. He ain't on the field. So Cowherd so funny. He goes from hurts stinks to, yeah. Colin Cowherd, he flip flops a lot. He flipping them pancakes, babe, for sure. And I like Colin Cowherd. I used to listen to him when he was still on the radio only. He was one of the first people I started listening to when I really got into listening to the radio online, was Colin Cowherd. But yeah, I agree with you. He flip flops a lot. And I told you, this is my thing with Colin. What Colin will do is he'll pick one side of a narrative and he'll go hard on that. But what he does is he'll say just enough to the counter. He'll say just enough in rebuttal to where he can come back at any time and say, "Hey, remember when I said this?" Or "Remember when I said this? I said." He'll have a 10-minute conversation that Jalen Hurts sucks, and then he'll mention in 30 he'll at 30 seconds out of that 10-minute conversation, he'll talk about some of the great things that Jalen Hurts has done. So now he got both sides covered. So he don't look like a dope. I noticed that a lot of people, they play both sides of the fence, and then they concentrate on whatever aligns with what actually happened. I think many people do that, and the problem is most people don't catch it. Most people don't catch it. So it is what it is. It's gonna keep going like that. It's not gonna change. But as long as Jalen balls out, gets the ball to the right receivers, and we keep it going, and that offensive line stays healthy, we good to go. So an entire range of a conversation. Yeah, yeah. Everybody just want to be first, or they want to be right. Y'all know how I feel right now. Anybody out there, King DV, um, anybody out there in these internet streets putting together content, man, step your game up. Step your game up. Everybody stepping away from TV. Everybody stepping away from TV. YouTube is where it's at. TikTok is where it's at. Because we get our information and we can keep it a bean better than anybody on television these days. Absolutely. So they're gonna keep coming with these narratives and however whatever it takes to get the clicks, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. But that's the landscape that we in. So we got to surf the wave, or get off the board, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. I ain't got no tolerance for the nonsense either. But that's the beauty about having your own platform, creating your own content. You ain't got to worry about that. All I got to do is get some good people. All we got to do is expand our squad and keep it real. How we keep it real. Y'all know me, grown folks. Grown folks is talking. Grown folks is talking, and a lot of people out there on TV, and heck now on the internet too. They don't want to be grown. They just want to fling adjectives around at people, and call you names if your opinion doesn't align with theirs. So you know how it is, man. Um, Tiffany, I'm making it a point. I am making it a point. So there's only one morning show that I still listen to, and that is on ESPNU. I watch Chris Caney, Michael Evans, and Michelle Smallman. Is it unsportsmanlike? Unsportsmanlike. That's the only real show. I don't watch Get Up anymore. I don't even watch Sports Center no more. I'm straight at the NFL Network. I watch Good Morning Football every now and then, but there's not too many shows on television that I watch anymore. Everything is content. Everything is Inside the Birds with Greg Cosell. The show with the Cuz on it. I watch that because Brian Balding is always on there. Baldinger is a teammate of mine, and Baldy is one of them ones that I know he watches a lot of tape. I'm constantly texting Barrett Brooks. So now it's funny, and I never thought about it until this second right now, because now I'm somebody with my channel, with my content. I got sources. I can call Ken Dunnick. I can call Barrett Brooks. I can talk to Hollis Thomas. Efforting on getting Hollis next week. I can call Mike Quick. I can call G Cobb. I got sources. Just like they say on TV. The only difference is their microphone still might be a little bit louder. But the information, anybody can get it. You just got to know where to look. I'll tell anybody. I ain't got no problem shouting out any of the content creators. What's my man's name? What's the boy from Philly? What's my boy from Philly with the deep voice? Top Billing. Shout out to the dude from Top Billing, because I know he watches tape. And that's the type of stuff that you want to watch. Watch somebody that can teach you something. I don't know everything. I played in the league and I don't know everything. Uh-oh. Did I spill coffee on my shirt? No, I didn't. So, yeah, a lot of it clickbait garbage, man. A lot of it. Oh, I didn't. What's my guy? Big Bro. I gotta get Seth on here. Seth was my captain. Seth was one of our captains when I was playing. It was Seth and Eric Allen and Randall, Baldy, and I believe Fred Barnett were or Herschel Walker. He was the offensive captain. I gotta find that. Put a link in the chat if you got it. I will always watch Big Bro because I know he be eviscerating folks. He don't care. He does not care. I gotta watch Big Bro. Yeah, Tiff, put a link up if you got it. Definitely put a link up. So, the time for talk is done now. Training camp done. I'm going to the, I'll be down there Friday for the alumni game, but practice is done. So guess what? After this weekend, we getting ready for Washington. We getting ready for week 1. So, this time goes fast, goes very fast. So, yeah, Seth don't play, man. Seth was the same way when we played back in 93 and 94. Seth, he didn't suffer fools. He did not. He didn't play. I always remember going into Went into the locker room one day. Seth was in there early lifting weights. I was in there early to get treatment or something. Seth was already in the weight room. I just remember peeking in there like, "What's up, Seth?" And he was like, he was on a bench machine, one of the hammer strength bench machines. Had on his it was hot, but he had on shorts and he had on like a long sleeve top, so he was sweat. And I just remember him. He was repping out something. He was like, "Hey, always take care of your body, young fella. Always take care of your body." So, um, yeah, Seth calls it like he sees it, man. Seth ain't trying to. He ain't trying to pussyfoot. The commodes, I like that. The commodes. Oh my god. So yeah, man, it's all good, man. It's the everything over but the shouting. So I am very excited. Tiff, did you just send me something? Okay, I got it. I got it. I see it, Tiff. Hold on. Bring it up. Thank you for that. Seth, thinking out loud. Are the interceptions by Jalen Hurts in training camp a concern? For me, no. As a quarterback and an offense, you never want to turn the ball over. But let's look at this from a different perspective. If they were running the offense of the past 5 years, I'd be overly concerned. Facts. Facts. But the fact that the Eagles are implementing an entirely new offense, I understand the uptick. The OC and QB are learning, experimenting, figuring out what works. Somebody else said that. I wonder who. Um, this is the time for all parties involved to get it right. If the quick passing game, passing in the middle of the field, new scheme dynamics, it stands to reason that the need to experiment and work on those things in order to perfect them. It'll only be an issue if it becomes an issue. If the INTs persist when the game matters, facts, there's always a process to learning a new system. Lastly, Jalen Hurts is a QB who normally learns from his mistakes and rarely duplicates them. Non-issue. Hashtag non-issue. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's Cap. That's Cap. Cap and none spoke. So, hey, I agree 100%. I agree for the same reason I mentioned earlier. Just how many times have we had quarterbacks that have a phenomenal camp and in the regular season they shit the bed? So you got to keep that same energy, and we all know what it is when you talk about the is and the isms. They're never gonna give Josh Allen the heat that he probably should get. They're never gonna give Trevor Lawrence the heat that he probably should get. So, you know, ain't nothing you can do about it. Keep on moving. Keep on shining our chip. And if they're gonna be mad, they'll be mad by themselves. So, um, uh, most of all the interceptions were on the receivers. Okay. Fangio said the same thing. Seth said just about Jalen's learning a new offense. Yeah, they are trying new things. If Jalen wasn't turning the ball over, they would say he's playing it safe. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody got an excuse. It's gotta fit some type of narrative. It can't just be, he's good and they figuring it out. Because that's what they would say about anybody else. I don't care if it was your boy in LA or whatever top quarterback, Mahomes, whatever top quarterback you want to look at. If the enemy left and if Big Red decides to retire, they got to learn a whole new offense. So it people only want to bring it up because they can bring it up. But it is what it is, man. We good. We are so good. So let's just see. I want to see them handle business with the Bengals. You're gonna see a lot of twos, threes, and guys on the bubble. So I doubt. Um, I think Makai Lemon should play, but it would not surprise me if he does not. You're probably not going to see any starters. Very, very few, if any. That includes Makai Lemon. I want him to play because I want him to get his feet wet. Um, you do not, you cannot simulate game speed. You can't. Cannot simulate game speed. He got to get in the game, get his feet wet, get thumped around a little bit, get off the floor, get off the turf. You got to get them feelings back. You got to get that callus back on your body to take in punishment, um, and then get your mind right. And the only way to do that sometimes is to get your ass on the field, get a play in, get it, whatever it takes. Get on special teams and make a tackle, whatever it takes. Knock that rust off your pads. Andy Dalton is still on the roster because he's going to play on Friday. That's why. Always remember, don't never be so quick to just say, "Oh, he should be cut. We need to get rid of him." Hold on, slow down, slow down. This is when I tell you, just take your hands off of it and back up. Just back up. They gonna let Dalton play a lot in this last preseason game. Put some pressure on our third string quarterback in Tanner McKee. What's his name? Cole Payton. Yeah, put pressure on them. But Big Red, Andy, that's trade bait. That's trade bait. Somebody need a quarterback? Can Andy Dalton go to Atlanta and be doing better than Tua? Huh. Because that's a real possibility. That is a real possibility. So you never know what can happen these days. You never know. You got to keep your head on the swivel, because everybody. I don't think Dalton's going to make this team, but let him play. Let somebody come in and make an offer or whatever the situation goes with Howie. So it can't hurt. It cannot hurt. Plus, it's a lot of moving and shaking before the season starts. So, like I was just saying about Mac Hollins and some of these other guys that they might try to make a move for just because they can fill a need. They got to be able to fill a need. What they're going to do until Grenard gets healthy? Who they bringing up? You need somebody as a stopgap, right? Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So we got through camp with nothing serious happening. Obviously, Devontae and Devontae Grenard and Makai Lemon were the worst, I think, of the camp for injuries. So, for the most part, we've done fairly well with managing injuries. Andy Dalton for Jesse Bates. If the Falcons do that, Howie should be GM of the decade. He already is GM of the decade. Yeah, hit that like button. Appreciate it. Hit that like button. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine, man. We're gonna be fine. Matter of fact, is there any games tonight? No, not tonight. It will be at the very earliest Thursday. Not on a Wednesday. So Justin, bring back Reddick. I'm with you. I would. Absolutely. Keep your homeboys at home. That's a Camden night. Bring him back home. Absolutely. Bring back Hassan Reddick. Let him do his thing. That elephant is out of the room now with AJ, so we ain't got them problems no more. Bring him back. So, hold on. So yeah, man, it's I think we're in a good we're in a good place. I think Jalen is um, got a grip on the offense. We'll see how much as time goes on. Remember my rule. Week four. Let's be patient till week four. Once we are going into week 5, then school's out. You at liberty to say whatever you want to say because now you have a big enough sample size, and we played a game or two against somebody that we had the game plan. The reason why I say week 4 is because you need at least 2 weeks to really game plan a team. But by week 4, you got a lot of people who have played a lot of teams, and you can get bits of information from everybody. So week 4 going into week 5, you pretty much know what you got on your offensive line. You know what you got at the skill positions. You know what your quarterback is looking like. You know if your defenders, your DBs can tackle or cover. So by week 5, we get a gist on all of that stuff. All of it. Everybody's got tape. Everybody's got tape. Weeks 5 through 8, things start to tighten up because everybody's got tape on you now. So they can formulate a better game plan based on what they've already seen. And that's how you do it. And at the end of the day, the team that is most prepared, the team that can figure out how to tackle and all that kind of stuff faster than anybody else, they're going to win more games. They're going to win more games. Philly Fire, the run game is going to be there tight. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I tell people this all the time. Go on YouTube and look up when the Denver Broncos went back-to-back. Look up that first year when Terrell Davis went for 2,000 yards. Just go look that up. That was when they had Mark Schlereth and all of them boys, and that offensive line was killing it. Couldn't nobody do nothing with it, and Terrell Davis just could pick and choose where he wanted to go, and couldn't nobody stop him. They knew who was getting the ball, couldn't stop it. Could not stop it. That's all the difference in the world with your offensive linemen. If they in sync like that, whew, boy, they hard to beat. Hard to beat. So yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good with our offensive linemen. If we got to get rid of Fred Johnson to make a trade somewhere, I can see that. I'm good with that. I'm good. Markel Bell, your turn, bro. But we'll see. We'll see how he's gonna do. We see what moves he's gonna make. He still got time. Still got time. So Alex Gibb blocking scheme. Oh my God. Trot's coming to play. Jihad has got to keep him at bay. Jihad got to step his game up. Not step his game up because he already big and fast as hell. But my thing with Jihad is when you get an opportunity to make the tackle, make the tackle. That simple. That simple. When it's time for you to cover. It's that simple. You can streamline these answers. It ain't that hard to figure out. Yeah, Robert. Tim Curry passed away today. Pennywise, y'all. Pennywise, the first the 80s miniseries. Boy, we had never seen nothing like it back in the day. Yep. But you know where I first became aware of Tim Curry? My twin sister used to watch. We had Annie on VHS with Carol Burnett and Tim Curry and who else was in that movie? She used to sing all them songs. It's a Hard Knock Life. Um, what was the other one? You never what was it? Never Be Your Best Without a Smile or something like that. My sister used to sing all them songs. And when I tell you that girl used to watch Annie at least 3-4 times a week, I knew all the songs at that time. But the best song was Hard Knock Life. When they was cleaning the orphanage, and she was trying to hide Annie from Daddy Warbucks and all that kind of stuff, man. It was, yeah, back in the day. Tim Curry, yeah, he was no joke. Yeah. Legend. Legend was the one where he's dressed up like the devil. I never did like that movie. Um, Tom Cruise's first movie, by the way. And also, what was the other one he did? I'm trying to think of. I know I'm missing one. Like one of the old ones from the '70s, the '80s era. Rocky Horror. I wasn't into the shock jock rock stuff. I remember Rocky Horror, but I wouldn't. That wasn't my lane. And that was Rocky Horror was what 80. I was 10 years old, so you know what I mean. So, you don't like scary movies? I guess technically Legend wasn't a scary movie. He just played a scary character. Legend was more of a sci-fi adventure. It wasn't a scary movie. Now it from the '80s was a miniseries on television, um, and they were only limited by what they could do with special effects on network television during the week. And even back then, Tim Curry as Pennywise was off the chain. So, Rocky Horror. A lot of people like Rocky Horror Picture Show, but they like it for the musical. It was. They don't. The movie was actually. And let me be honest with you. I never saw it. Like I said, that's not my lane. I done seen Grease. I done seen Grease 2. I done seen Annie. I done seen um what's the other movie we used to watch on The Wiz? Oh my God, we had The Wiz on rotation. I could sing You Can't Win by heart. Don't nobody bring me no bad news. Slide some moral to me. Man, I remember them days. Remember them days. Yeah, it was a dope one, man. It was good, but I think Zach Kreger's. I still ain't been able to had a chance to see Weapons yet. I got to watch that. I still got to watch Sinners. I still got to watch the new Resident Evil is coming out. I want to see that. Now, the one thing I don't do when you talking about scary movies like Evil Dead and all that kind of stuff, the new Evil Deads are off the chain. That's a little too much for me. Like the new Evil Deads, Hereditary, all that kind of stuff, man. The new stuff they doing with horror is woof. Whoa. It'll make you cover your eyes though. Grease on VHS and my grandmother's watched that. For sure. Absolutely. My all-time favorite horror movie is an '80s movie with Bill Pullum. The dude from is it Bill Pullum? Bill Pullum? What's his name? Pullman. Bill Pullman. It's called Serpent and the Rainbow. I remember I saw that in the theater. Um, Me and one of my best friends from high school, we went to the theater. That day we stuck in to see almost every show, but we saw Summer School, we saw Serpent and the Rainbow. I think we ended up watching 3 movies. And Serpent and the Rainbow, boy, that's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites. You know what? I don't like the Terrifier. I don't that like I said, that's just not like Serpent and the Rainbow and John Carpenter's The Thing are my two favorite monster movies. And of course, you got, Alien and stuff like that. The original Alien and Aliens, um, they're favorites, but for me, like I said, The Serpent and the Rainbow, and The Thing. The Thing. First time I ever saw The Thing, I was like, "What in the world am I watching?" It was incredible. Blew me out the water. So John Carpenter, man, my two favorite John Carpenter movies, The Thing and Escape from New York. Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken. I heard you was dead. Yeah, man. They don't make them like that no more, man. But I will say, the last 5 to 6 years, these new horror movies that they coming out with, oof, boy, they done tapped into something dark, boy. The Witch, Hereditary, Midsummer. Um, what was the other one? What's the other one with that monster? That was the best monster I've seen in the movie since The Thing, which was what was that? The what was the thing? Crap. They live they live was good, but They Live was boring ass movie. They Live was not a good movie. Um, Sinister, yep, Sinister, good. Candyman, I like the original Candyman. Um, even the sequel was pretty good, but like the remakes weren't very good. Um, I'm trying to think of what was the name of that movie. The movie came out like 2 3 years ago, and it was a they showed a monster at the end, and it looks like this big old monster elk, and had some man hanging from the front of him. Um, what was the name of that movie? I don't know. Um, but yeah, man, I like a lot of Stephen King stuff, but I like what they're doing with Stephen King stuff recently. Like I remember watching The Shining, and then I watched the when they redid it. And they did a made for TV movie that was closer to the book, and I just remember my big sister was a big reader, and I think she read The Shining in like a week. That book is thick as hell. But The Shining was good. But the movie that came out, what, 7 years ago, Doctor Sleep? Oh, Rebecca Ferguson. Oof. She was so good in that. Doctor Sleep was excellent. Doctor Sleep was excellent. But in my opinion, like a lot of the Stephen King stuff is getting better with the TV stuff. The Mist was good. Um, I think they're redoing that. But Newcastle, was that the name of it? Newcastle. It was a show on television. I think it was called Newcastle, and that Newcastle was a town, like the next town up from Salem's Lot, from Jerusalem's Lot, and it's just a story in the Stephen King universe. Sissy Spacek was in it. John Glenn was in it. It was good. It was so good. And your boy that played Pennywise was in it. Had him locked in a prison tower or a prison, something like that, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. Um, Exorcist, yeah, yeah. The Exorcist, for me, it wasn't the Exorcist. It was um Suspiria, the original Suspiria. The original Suspiria was like 1977. I'll never forget. I was 7 years old. I was at a party at my dad we was at my uncle's house. All the kids was up in the attic because he had a pool table in the attic. All the grown-ups was downstairs. They was drinking and smoking weed and all that kind of stuff. And my uncle had one of the very first big screen projection TVs. And they were watching Suspiria, and my dad said, "Y'all stay upstairs. Y'all stay upstairs." And I remember I came downstairs because I wanted to see what the grown-up was doing. And there's a scene in Suspiria where towards the end, where the final girl opens up the closet and this witch comes out, and it looks like her face is all messed up. She got needles in her eyes and all this kind of stuff. And it scared the bejesus out of me. And he was like, "I told you to stay upstairs." Yep. Yes, they are remaking Carrie. Salem's Lot is one of my favorites. But remember, Salem's Lot was a TV movie with David Soul. I remember when I was little and I watched that. That's another 80s movie. Um, David Soul. I remember when that movie came on TV, and I saw David Soul. I was like, "What's Starsky and Hutch doing in a horror movie?" But again, a lot of the good Stephen King stuff is on television. Um, um, Pet Cemetery. Pet Cemetery was okay. The movie was the old movie was okay. The new movie I thought was better, but like a lot of stuff with Stephen King, I read the book. I read the Pet Cemetery book, and I was like, "Yo, the book was off the chain." There was so much stuff in the book that they didn't talk about in the movies, and it just, yeah, Pet Cemetery is wild. Like I don't ever remember in the movies, um, um, when the dude it was like a flashback with one of the neighbors that they were talking about from the pet cemetery. It was like the neighbor's son or something like that, and the son caught somebody and started just telling all their business. Like a lot of them scenes, and when you saw the monster in the woods that was stalking them when they was walking through the pines on their way to the pet cemetery, and you get the something stalking them, all of that type of stuff. The book was so much better. The book was so much better. Um, Thinner. I never read Thinner. Never read Thinner. Um, was I a Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street fan? Yes, I was, because Nightmare on Elm Street came out right when we was in high school. Elm Street came out when 86, or it's like 84, 86. I was a teenager, so that was the thing to do. We all went to the movies together to see Elm Street and all of that type of stuff. So yeah, I was big Elm Street, Elm Street 2, all of that kind of stuff, man. Absolutely. Long Walk is a great movie. A lot of good stuff. I started reading. What's his name? His stuff didn't get made into too many movies. They tried to make a movie out of one of the Odd Thomas books. I read like 3 or 4 of the Odd Thomas books. Odd Thomas was a character. Dean Koontz. Um, Odd Thomas was a character that could see demons and spirits, and whenever he would see a bunch of them in his town, he knew something big was about to happen. So there was like 3 or 4 books. It was a series of books about Odd Thomas and how he navigated, and he could see the monsters and the ghosts regularly, and he knew when something bad was about to happen. That was pretty good. Um, but yeah, Dolores Claiborne, Dreamcatcher, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah. So how we go from the last day of training camp to talk about horror movies? I just got entertainment on the brain. Y'all got to check out Coach Marcus Games and see my reactions to the Green Lantern movie. Um, yo, I never got into the Dark Tower. And let me be honest with you, the only reason I never got into the Dark Tower, because I was like, man, that's too many damn books. That's too many damn books for me. Um, but it's funny. I'll say that about the Dark Tower, but I read Game of Thrones, so it's about to get spooky for the Commanders, for sure. I think my big sister read some of that. I might have to do the audiobooks. I became a big fan of the audiobooks. Um, so I might have to do that, man, with the stand. But man, that's a lot of books, man. There's some thick ass books. So, but I like the nowadays when they do any type of content for um, Stephen King, they make sure they connect to all the towns, the Cujo town, the Shawshank, um, Castle Rock. That's what it was called. It was called Castle Rock, not Newcastle. I know I said Newcastle. It was called Castle Rock. Great show. The first season was phenomenal, and then they had a second season, and then it kind of fell off. But Castle Rock was good. Pro Fan Book Club. That's a good idea. Amazon's gonna do a Dark Tower series. This would be what, they third? This would be the third Dark Tower series on television. Dark Tower is one of them things where it's too much. Anytime you do books like that, you gotta cut too much stuff out. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. Was a big fan of Stranger Things. So yeah, man. I think the last books. I'm trying to think, what was the last books that I read? I think it was the Song of Ice and Fire. I think I was on Game of Thrones book. They're not called Game of Thrones. It was A Song of Ice and Fire, and I can't even remember what it was. That third book. I was on that third book, and after that third book, I was pissed at George R.R. Martin because I was like, you ain't gonna never finish these damn stories. I done read the books, watched the show, and you still working on the fourth book or whatever it is. I was like, I'm out. I'm sick of waiting. I'm out. Castle Rock was phenomenal, Linda. Phenomenal. I loved that show. Loved it. The Help was Stephen King? I didn't know that. The Help was Stephen King. I did not know that. Yes, Eagle Camp is over already. Yes, we bet that. Yeah, it's like that. You know, you got to pick and choose what you want. But yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Make that my new audio book, The Stand. Might have to do that. So, and a lot of times now, I'll be looking at some of these movies coming out, and it'll be like based on the novel, and I'm like, wait a minute, let me get into this book. So, but in any case, all right, man, I need to land this plane. We're gonna be talking about books all damn night. But in any case, again, if anybody is, if y'all find yourself down at the game on Friday, if you are going to the game on Friday, I will be down there. I will be part of the alumni. We get to come out. I don't know if they're gonna let us come out in the beginning or if we're gonna do it at halftime. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be in the beginning of the game because this is an 8 o'clock game. Because if we go out at halftime, that's gonna be damn near 10 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna assume that we're gonna do all of our pomp and circumstance at the beginning of the game. So I'll be out there pregame, warm up. We'll be walking around. We'll be on the sideline taking pictures, all of that kind of stuff. So, like I always say, man, if y'all see me down there, holler at me. Holler at me. I will come over to talk to you, take pictures, sign autographs. I could bring a couple of the fellas over there to, get you an autograph and some pictures and stuff like that. So holler at me. So if I hear somebody say Coach Marcus, I'll turn around. So I will be down there. I'm looking forward to it. We always have good food, good fun, just to see the brothers. My frat brother going to be down there. My frat brother, Diallo Burks, who went to Eastern Kentucky. He was a receiver up here with the Eagles for a couple years. We both alphas. I pledged him. So yeah, it should be fun. So, but in any case, I'm gonna go ahead and land this plane, man. It was good conversation, man. I like that. We still keeping it growing. I'm still got my goal though. I got to get 100 yards a game. So we got. I think we peaked out at like 50 yards today. We had like 50 people on the stream, but that's good. We're just gonna keep it growing and keep grinding, man. So, working on some new graphics and stuff. Got some new ideas. And we're going to keep it moving, man. So I'm going to go ahead and land this plane. I will see y'all Friday at the stadium. And as usual, man, tell your people you love them while they're here. And I will see y'all then, man. So keep the conversation up. Y'all know me. I'm going to play the music. And the conversation will continue. But I will holler at y'all later. Peace. And go Birds.